From the beginning, there was this idea to create a kind of an homage to the television. I was one of the generation that grew up with the TV as an icon in everyday life. Tivu, the way the project came to be called, is really to start with the idea of the television and to transform it and to kind of celebrate its form and its cultural identity. The original TVs were very square, almost circular, and then they gradually evolved into a kind of a short rectangle. What ended up working very well was this idea of basing it on 16:9 proportions, which is today's widescreen TVs or monitors or displays. But it took a while to get there. The thing that always struck me about the TV was that we were watching it, but there was also this idea that it was always looking at us. The frontal part absolutely dark and it's opaque. It does not transmit any light. And in fact, it's a kind of a reflective surface, a mirror-like surface. Whereas the back of the lamp is the part that gives diffused light onto the wall behind it. The idea is that creating an aura of light, almost like the light circle around a darker pupil, like the eye. In a way, playing with this idea of something looking at you while you're looking at it, but also friendly. We played with the finishing of the translucent or transparent rear element, and this has been resolved with a satin sort of sandblasted texture, which gives a soft, diffused light, of course in contrast with the more glossy front. The trick about beautiful proportions is to have something that's almost perfect, but without being too static or too perfect, which ends up being a little boring. The black becomes like the classic reference of the cathode ray tube of the TV. And then the other option was to do white, which is more of a classic color and reference for the world of illumination. We made two sizes. This is the sort of main version of the Tivu with the wider widescreen proportions. And the smaller one becomes more like the classic reference to the proportions, 4:3 proportions of a classic television. The decision was quickly made to make it out of injection molded plastic, a type of plastic that to have this strong, sort of dense, opaque outer surface that you can almost lose yourself into looking into it, the way I always used to lose myself into the television or contemplating the television.